Welcome to LCC's Emergency Preparedness Training Series. This course will cover the topic of sheltering in place. Let's start by defining what shelter in place means. Sheltering in place means to take refuge inside of a shelter in order to stay safe. Shelters can include places such as your home, your office, your vehicle, or classroom. Different scenarios may require you to shelter in place. For example, we may experience violent or unexpected weather conditions that make traveling outside unsafe or impossible. Hazardous materials may be released into our environment. Hazardous materials can be released from many potential sources. For example, a release of hazardous material could occur on or around campus. Also, hazardous material containers can become damaged during transport on nearby roads and rails. A shelter-in-place order may also be issued downwind of industrial and natural fires. Additionally, law enforcement may require you to shelter in place if a violent crime is occurring in the area, including an active threat or explosion hazard. The most recent shelter-in-place order issued in Cowlitz County occurred on April 22, 2016, when a natural gas leak caused Woodland residents to shelter in place. You should shelter in place when you receive notification to do so, or when you feel that the surrounding environment is too dangerous to enter. The most immediate form of notification comes from a system called Reverse 911. This system is activated by the 911 call center. Once the system is activated, an automated call is generated and sent to numbers in the affected area. The recording will give you instructions to shelter in place. Typically, the next notifications will go out over social media, such as Twitter and Facebook. If you are on campus, LCC's mass notification system will also be activated. Pay close attention to PA announcements that go out over speakers and campus phones. Messages will be posted on reader boards and in emails. Additionally, text notifications will be sent out, including flash alerts. For more information on campus crisis communication procedures, visit our webpage at lowercolumbia.edu. The link to this webpage is also located in the Files section of this Canvas course. Let's talk about how you should shelter in place in your home. When sheltering in place at home, you should close and lock all windows and exterior doors. If you are told there is a risk of explosion, close the window shades, blinds, or curtains. Turn off all fans, heating, and air conditioning systems. Close the fireplace damper. Get your family disaster supplies and make sure the radio is working. For more information on what to include in your disaster kit, visit www.ready.gov/kit. Go to an interior room without windows, above ground level if possible. In the case of a chemical release, above ground level is preferable because some chemicals are heavier than air and can seep into basements. Bring your pets with you and be sure to grab extra food and water for them. Use duct tape and plastic sheeting, heavier than plastic food wrap, to seal cracks around the doors and vents. Keep listening for updates on media sources. It is important to note that having a hardwired phone in the room you choose may be important, as other cellular forms of communication may be overwhelmed in an emergency. Remember that shelter-in-place conditions generally last for a few hours, not days or weeks. Therefore, you are not in danger of running out of oxygen in your enclosure. Now let's talk about how to shelter in place at work. This requires you to take all of the same steps outlined on the previous slides, plus some additional ones. First, stop all regular college business operations. This is not the time to continue working. Bring everyone into interior rooms and shut and lock the doors and windows. If there is a risk of explosion, close all window coverings as well. Be sure to choose a room with enough space for everyone to sit down. Choose multiple rooms to avoid overcrowding. Large storage closets, utility rooms, pantries, copy and conference rooms without exterior windows all work well. Be sure to avoid selecting a room with equipment that may be vented to the exterior of the building, such as IT and mechanical closets. If there are students or visitors in the building, provide for their safety by asking them to stay and not leave. When authorities provide directions to shelter in place, they want everyone to do so immediately and not to walk or drive outside. Take the time to write down the names of everyone in the room and call your designated emergency contact to report who is in the room with you and their affiliation to the college, such as student, visitor, or employee. And lastly, continue to listen for updates on media sources. You may actually be driving when you receive notification to shelter in place, in which case you should follow these steps. If you are very close to home, work, or a public building, go there immediately and shelter inside. Once inside the building, follow directions covered on the previous slides. If you are unable to get to a building quickly and safely, pull over and park in the safest place possible. If it is sunny, try to park in the shade to avoid overheating. Turn off the engine. Close the windows and vents. If possible, seal the heater vents with duct tape. Listen for updates. Stay where you are until you receive notification that it is safe to drive. If there are traffic revisions, follow the instructions of law enforcement. You should continue to shelter in place until you have been informed it is safe to discontinue by emergency personnel or other qualified person.